And welcome back to the show, the Fly Degenerates show, live on a Thursday, August 17th. We have another Hard Knock episode of Hard Knocks to recap. We're going to revisit our division winner predictions for the NFC, and we will do a fantasy football preview of quarterbacks and tight ends. But before we get into all of that, how are we feeling, fellas?
Yo, feeling good.
Phenomenal.
Feeling good?
Yes, sir.
Got the
Better than good.
got the bucket low, like you already know.
Well, Sean P. Low.
The Mets holding on for dear life, I suppose.
No, they gotta let go.
Yeah.
Dear life.
Well, I think they already did let go. I think they already.
Yeah,
did
I mean, the amount of players that I've seen in the lineup that I don't even know where they got them from.
Yo, for
you know what I'm
real.
saying? Like not even like prospects. Like you know what I'm
That's
saying?
the
Like,
other
not
thing.
even
Like,
none of
I'm
that.
like, yo, I seen some dudes that I don't know who they are, and I go to check like their player profile, and they old. Like they're throwing out 30-year-olds out there I never heard of.
Man. Bro, it's like the construction, like day workers. Like I feel like they getting day baseball players.
Yo, for real, they're part of they're
Crazy.
part of two unions.
Unfortunately. But nah, whatever.
All right, but let's get
Nah, but
started.
it's so good. On one note on that.
Baseball live at 10 Eastern.
One note on that. I actually think that's a good idea because I did not know until they brought it up on the broadcast 2 nights ago. Since they're over the Steve Cohen threshold, whatever draft pick that they get, automatically the penalty is automatically going down 10 picks. So like if they ended up with the 8th worst record, normally their pick would be the 8th, but because of the penalty, they would go down to 18th. That's a 10-spot penalty, which they also had to got last for this past draft. Caveat to that, I did not know that if they finish with one of the 6th worst records, that doesn't apply to them. So they keep their pick. It's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
some-
huge. I mean, riveting stuff.
something
Nothing like
to
nothing like.
monitor.
I mean, if baseball wasn't
Absolutely.
exciting enough, baseball draft rules and how they relate to the salary cap that's how you keep the.
I got a 2024 mock draft if you need it.
Okay, so Hard Knocks. We had another episode of Hard Knocks. I had a lot of feelings about the first episode. We don't need to revisit all that. But how did y'all feel about this episode?
I think I like this episode actually way better. I don't know if it addressed some of the concerns that you had. I don't know if it addressed all of them. They kind of tried to do a better job of like spreading out, breaking down stories from multiple players and stuff, and kind of show a little bit more personality, more of the other personalities that are on the team. They obviously, everybody's gonna go for Rodgers or whatever. That's what everybody came to see. So I can't fault them, but they did pull back a little bit on all the Rodgers. It wasn't like the Rodgers love fest like the first one was. It was like, Rodgers was there, and he is the main, the center figure, the front facing figure of this squad. But they did attempt to sprinkle in a couple other of the players. So not much to I can't complain about it. I like it. The thing in the beginning with the magician. That's always like that.
Oh,
that's
whoa,
always.
whoa! He's not a magician.
Oh, sorry, mentalist. I'm sorry. I apologize.
He seemed to take offense to being called a
I
magician.
apologize, O's.
Then he pulls out a fucking deck of cards.
That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like I understand that a lot of stuff that he does is mentalist. It's not magic tricks. You make a fucking
But the shit is
goldfish show
magic.
up in somebody's hands. That's a magic trick, bro. That's not
Yeah,
no mentalist. Get
yeah,
out of here.
my nigga. Yeah. As soon as you have animals and you have cards, if you have animals and you have cards,
Yeah.
that shit is magic. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like you're more, you're more than you're more than just a magician. You know what I'm saying? But the shit is magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool because it was like, it was like highlighting, like the team is kind of together. They showed how, like obviously they went for the big fish, no pun intended, with the goldfish, but like they went for Aaron Rodgers because obviously, he's the skeptical guy in the bunch. So they kind of like, humanize him a little bit, kind of show him, and also kind of like show him that, like there's some shit that you can't explain and you won't be able to explain. So you just have to understand that you don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's kind of just like one of those things that, you just kind of sit back and take it for what it is. In terms of like the whole team, they seem kind of loose. Robert Saleh let loose a lot more. I think for the first one, he was a little uncomfortable, like being in front of the camera so much. Maybe he doesn't want like his kids and his wife watching him curse all the time for the first one. And then he was like, yo, you know what? That's not me. So he let it go. There was no shucks, no darn, no none of that. It was straight F's. You know what I'm saying? It was, and he was kind of going into his team. So I think he kind of like, he's a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera now. And I don't know. I think this is, for me, obviously the team is likable. I just feel like the team, there's not really anybody that you can hate. Like if you get past obviously Aaron Rodgers, but I feel like he's kind of let the guard down a little bit and kind of showed his likable side. Besides that, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. Nah, yeah, I agree. I liked it a lot, but I'm biased, man. I'm watching the Jets. It's fucking Hard Knocks. It's something that I'm really interested in. And I'm saying like, it's like I can't even. Like they would have to really fuck it up for me to be like, yo, I can't watch that.
Yeah, no, but you don't have to really give a 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. Was there any big takeaway from it, that you are going to be looking towards to the season? Was there anything you took away from what he was saying about the O-line?
Yeah, nah, I mean that segment where they couldn't move the ball was crazy. And Aaron Rodgers getting at Salah was gangster. That shit was ill. Like that shit was.
I don't know if I saw that. What do you mean?
When he gets off the field, he's like, "Who would have known that play doesn't work in that formation? That doesn't work or whatever."
Yeah,
the fuck
yeah,
you
yeah,
say.
yeah, I remember
That shit was gangster, nigga. I fucking loved it. And then yeah, but he, you know what I mean? Like Rodgers getting frustrated was seeing him get frustrated was ill. You know what I'm saying? The McDonald's shit, like that's cool. It's one player that, people might want to know, about and shit. And he looked out. He had those 2 plays at the end or whatever, the game or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? It was dope. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Yeah. You?
Here we go.
I thought it was fine. I was happy to see Salah not look. I felt like he didn't look as goofy as he did the first episode. I felt like the first episode, and I said that last week. I felt like the first episode he was a little goofy, and I don't know. I didn't know if that's how he really is, or if, like you said, that if he's trying to do too much or think too much, or he don't want to curse, whatever. But I feel like he came across like he had more command of the team and more, to me he came across as more of a little bit more of being in a leadership type of position. Obviously he's in the leadership position as the head coach of the team, but he didn't really give off leadership to me in that episode 1, or at least they didn't show that as much. I felt like he really, he seemed a little bit more in control of the team. My favorite part of the episode was Rodgers fat shaming that coach from the Panthers.
Oh, that was crazy.
That was by far my favorite part.
That was odd, right? It was like a little too like
it was amazing.
It was a little
Nah,
too
because
I didn't find it odd at all. I found it to be beautiful.
But I think it's great.
touching.
I think it's good, not only because I don't, obviously some of the speculation is that Rodgers is playing up to the camera a little bit, but I just think that it kind of just highlights like that people do like him in the league,
He's
and
been
that
playing
he's
to the
able to.
camera a lot of bit.
No. But I'm saying, but like that's not something you could play to the camera for. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you either have somebody you can that you could say that to, or you
Yeah.
don't say it, or you get a funky reaction when you say that to somebody that you're not that close to. So I think it just kind of like it kind of shows that like maybe he is just kind of like that because the dude like he just told him and he he didn't obviously he like he shot back or whatever, but it wasn't like he didn't look like he was offended or anything. It was almost like when when friends joke amongst each other. Like so it's not you know what I'm saying? It's not
I
it
actually
wasn't
did
like
feel like he was a little bit of
well
uncomfortable with it. A little bit
I
of
did,
well
I
only
did. That's why I said it was odd. I
no
thought
but
I thought he took that shit a little like,
I only
all right,
think
come on, man, you're doing it too much.
Yeah,
Like,
I got
no
that.
no no I understand that, but I think the only reason he felt that way is because he knew he was getting recorded.
of
You
course,
know
of
what I'm
course.
saying? I
Yeah.
don't because normally I think that he would have just been able to let it off and it wouldn't have been a big deal. But I think, obviously
Yeah.
that's probably why.
Aaron
It
Rodgers
could be.
was taking the opportunity to embarrass him on camera.
I mean, maybe
You don't
He
have to
said you
defend
lying.
everything. Stop.
He said
What's
you're
wrong
lying.
with you? Stop it.
He said,
sometimes you need somebody to tell him to
I
tell
said I
that you
loved
need
it.
a
It was my
friend.
favorite part of the show.
Yeah,
I'm not
I know.
saying anything about it. I'm just saying that was what it was. He embarrassed the guy on
yo,
camera.
Yeah, of
I
course.
love
yo,
that.
Obviously, but sometimes you need that to get into shape.
You
You know what I'm
don't have
saying?
to. You don't have to.
he
You don't
said,
have to
he,
drop sugar on it. It's fine.
he said, what he say? He said, you lying. He said, you lying. You're not, you told me 260 or some shit. He's like,
Yeah.
that was funny as
Well,
hell. I'm like,
was he
yo,
O-line? Is he the O-line coach or what was he? I forget. Or was it
I
like
don't even. I don't remember what his role was with the Panthers, but I don't think he. I don't think he was an O line coach.
no.
I don't remember what he was.
Linebackers, maybe? I don't remember now.
I think it was something offensive, but I can't remember. But either way,
It's
the only
definitely
reason I say I
offensive.
don't think it was an O line coach, just because I feel like I would have. And this may be fucked up, but I feel like you give O line coaches a little bit more leash to be fat. Am I wrong in that?
No,
Like, would it
absolutely.
surprise?
Like,
Like,
I feel like that's like a strike. You
yeah,
know what
but
I'm
that's
saying?
why I feel like he wasn't an O line coach, because I feel like it wouldn't have come across the same way if he's like it felt like he was telling the guy not to be fat that shouldn't be fat, and I feel like an O line coach wouldn't be the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just like the way that he said like the way he brought it up was like, you lying. You told me 250.
Yeah.
That shit was fun anyway.
Yeah,
But
I still feel like I don't know. I'm still not getting the. I got it much more in this episode, but I don't know, man. It's not hitting for me the way that it has in the past.
Obviously, I mean, you hate the Jets, so I mean,
Yeah,
that tends
obviously.
to come.
Yeah, I'm
He's
a
tuning
big
in because he.
Lions fan, so. But I don't know. I mean, I think I really enjoyed. I want to see a little bit more of Quinnen Williams. I thought that the parts that they showed him was good. Woody talking to Salah was.
Nobody should be recording Woody doing anything.
I know Woody. I know that it's his team, so he could be there. But what was he doing there, man? Get him out of there. Like, get him. Like, I feel like.
You know, he was thinking about that shit all night.
And I know Salah's not going to say it, but Salah's sitting there thinking, like, yo, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm trying to work here. I'm trying to coach my team, and you're over here, trying to get on camera. But whatever. That's, I guess, a whole nother part of it. But yeah, we'll see. So it is 5 episodes, right?
Yeah, I think so. It was. I just checked. It was the offensive line coach.
Oh, he was offensive line coach?
Yeah.
That surprises me, because I felt like. Because now I feel like I look at it totally differently. I feel like he shouldn't have been so hard on him. I feel like he's an O-line coach until he retires, until he's no longer like in the league coaching O-lineman. He could be as big as he want to be.
Yeah, imagine a
that's what I'm
buck
saying.
20 coach telling coaching
Exactly.
the O line.
Yeah.
Like the dude from in Miami, the Miami Hurricanes offensive line coach. He's
Oh, I thought you were talking about the dude who
Awful.
was sniffing coke in Miami.
no. Well, he's skinny for another reason.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But
That's why I thought. That's exactly what I thought you were saying.
no, but I'm saying like the dude from the offensive line coach, I think for the Miami Hurricanes, that came from Oregon when the coach like shifted over. I think he's like 5'6" or 5'5", and he's like a little like he's like skinny like this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, I feel like the coach should have been like,
When
yeah,
did
hell
you
yeah,
play-
dog.
when did-
That right there tells me the U is not back, bro.
Yo,
If
when
they
did
got
you
if
put-
they got a little
Yeah.
petite O line coach, the U is not back,
Yeah.
bro. Sorry.
When did
Especially
you play
when
O-line?
wasn't this dude the offensive lineman, their head coach?
Mario Cristobal?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, come on.
But
man.
he has sent some dudes to the pros. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they got Panay Sewell, one of the top offensive tackles.
Yeah, they as
there's
in Oregon.
Yeah, but he was at Oregon.
I understand that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he's sending some dudes. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
not like
understand
when
that.
when somebody looks at you like that,
Did
which
he
they
have that
should
little
look at you.
petite O lineman coach in Oregon?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is it.
Are you sure that he was definitely with him in Oregon and he brought him over,
Yes,
or he's a new hire?
Yes. No, I'm 120% sure.
Okay.
Because that's what when you're little like that, you gotta have stripes. And you say, you know, like if some of these dudes look at you sideways, baby, yo, I got Panay Sewell in the league. He was a top 8 pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's a couple. There was one that got drafted for on the Giants 2 years back. So there's some dudes over there. So you know, but you need that when you're that little. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Definitely.
So how many wins are you predicting for the Miami Hurricanes? With that being said, this coming year.
I don't know, man. It's just an outdated form of football. So I don't know. I mean,
Is that the Affleck duck?
That's the Canes. I got a Cane jersey.
That looks like
Yeah.
the Affleck duck. Does he have a yarmulke on? What is that on his head?
Does look like a-
yeah. You know what it is
It
though?
does.
It's the official. What are the? Because did Gilligan actually wear one of these hats, or he wore one of the joints that flipped up?
The fisherman. He had the fisherman.
Yeah, his was. a
Oh,
little
no,
bit-
he had the fisherman
little-
joint.
little
But you know
tighter.
that other
Yeah.
joint where like the longshoremen wear on the boat, where it has the like it comes up like
Yeah.
straight up, like you know, like the little that almost looks like the ones that you put in the like the little kids or little white kids put in the water when it's raining, and it go like and it goes like that, like from that type of shit.
Oh
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Ah, you see, Like,
Yeah.
it looks
I
kind
know
of
you
like
lost
that. Yeah, that's how you.
All right, so that does it for Hard Knocks recap. We will see how the show progresses. I'm hoping to get a little bit less Aaron Rodgers and a little bit more of what they did with Will McDonald. I thought was cool, just because showing them a little bit of off the field stuff. I don't know, man. I want to get a feel for training camp, and I feel like they sprinkled it in a little bit this week, but I still feel like they could do more. But we'll see what happens next week after they have another preseason game. I'm assuming they're gonna have to do some Dalvin Cook, because we didn't get no Dalvin Cook this week.
Well, that's probably the footage that they got that they didn't let go for the first episode. They're probably combing through all that and tie it into to this week's shit. So it's probably a good amount on that. But I think he's leaving again after today, because he's having a kid, so he's going back to Miami or whatever.
Okay, I don't need the details on Dalvin Cook's itinerary. When we come back, we will visit quarterbacks and tight ends for the coming fantasy football season.
Fresh champion, they trying to feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'm a call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying, no waiting for my mans to show up, cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave.
Hey, yo, Element, what's good, girl?
Fucking man out here.
These fucking streets got a nigga going crazy, It's like a house of screams, done. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm way much chiller than most. I ain't frontin' at all. I'm flirting with maintaining and broke. But who you know that's iller with words? Yeah, clearly disturbed. That really actually dealt with some coke. Elmhurst where they murdering folk. 15 years later and I'm still here serving you dope. Only now it's informing some mean bars is cream, but some are more chasing that green card is Queen's Guard. Better learn how to think fast. These bitch ass niggas that's off to some bitch ass. Assault them, throw salt in their wounds. That's deeper than watching loved ones cook boy in the spoon. This for young boys locked in a room. Group homes, no visits, turn visions, feel alive in the tomb. Young guys watch most of them coons. Yeah, they lying they zooms. A loot of life they ain't never consumed. So my niggas gonna light it up. I provide a feeling one can only get while being cuffed on the Rikers bus. Whole killers say they side with us. We keep a bag of iron sticks like we play for the Riders Cup. Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? I'm trying to tell them, done. I hear them screams, man. Ain't nobody gonna help you out of that one, son. You gotta find your own way, done. Yeah? Queen, Philly.
Fresh champion, they trying to feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'm a call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying, no waiting for my mans to show up, cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave.
Two, one, and we're back. And now it is time to get into some fantasy football. I think we're finally in a place where, because I know that I like to do my fantasy prep early, but I felt like with all the uncertainty with the running backs and a lot of kind of position battles up in the air, I wasn't really ready to kind of do my prep and my rankings and my mock drafts and all that. But I feel like now we can start to get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna do quarterbacks and tight ends, right?
Yeah.
I will go through ESPN consensus rankings, top quarterbacks and tight ends, and then we can just kick around whether or not we think somebody is too high, too low, or if there's anybody who y'all have your eyes on that are not ranked at all. I'm sure that we'll hear about C.J. Uzama and Conklin and all the other millions of tight ends the Jets have. So starting out with quarterbacks.
Okay.
Don't you ever call me a
consensus number one quarterback, unfortunately, is not Joe Burrow. It is Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any disagreement as far as Patrick Mahomes being the number one fantasy quarterback this season?
I do.
I mean, how can you?
Who do you think? Why and who do you think should be ranked above him?
I do. I have a problem with Mahomes just because even though he kind of did it last year without receivers, it's like I have no idea who the fuck he's throwing to this year. Like less than last year. I feel like he has like a couple rookies, and who does he have? Valdez. Valdez Scantling still. Like who is his weapon? Like I really don't know who's his top three receivers. Valdez Scantling is the only one I know. I know we lost Juju. I know Skylar Moore.
Juju's a Patriot, so I don't know.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He lost Juju.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't know. So, and then he's not I don't know. I kind of think fantasy wise, I think Josh Allen might be up there, man. I think this is his year that he comes back and he's gonna he runs. He's gonna have those rushing yards, and he might be at least in contention for the top quarterback, fantasy wise, not top quarterback. Pat Mahomes is a top quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Fantasy wise, I think we might have a different guy up there this year.
Okay, so you have Josh Allen number one.
Fantasy wise.
Are you Flex, do we have dispute on Mahomes or?
I mean, the only thing I would make a 1A and 1B, and I would just say
there's
Jalen
no A's
Hurts.
and B's, baby.
There's the only person that I would possibly have over Patrick Mahomes, obviously, like you said, he's the number one quarterback. He's the quarterback that you want on your team, but Jalen Hurts only because of that extra, like down on the goal line, Jalen Hurts is bringing those in. On the goal line, Patrick Mahomes isn't bringing those in. So that's the only thing.
So you have Jalen Hurts number one.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that too, but I got Josh Allen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with Mahomes. ESPN has Josh Allen ranked number 2.
Okay.
And Jalen Hurts number 3. So how would you go top 3? If you're going Allen 1, would you go Hurts 2?
I would want to say Jalen, but it's like like you can't really keep pushing. I can't really keep pushing Pat down there, but so I'll probably put him 2, Jalen 3. You know what I'm saying?
So you think Josh Allen's gonna have a better year this year than last year?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of people have the vibe that this is gonna be. Yeah, that's interesting.
I feel like the Bills might, but Josh Allen himself, his performance, you know what I'm saying, he might. I think this is it. I think this is where he has to step up, and I think he will.
And I don't know. I think when he has to step up, that's when he fucks up.
You're right. That is
when he puts all like when he does the I'm gonna take the game over. I think that's when he becomes susceptible to making them bonehead mistakes. Diving for the goal line, sticking the ball out, lowering his helmet, like maybe possibly opening himself up to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
some of those plays, it's like, you know what? Like maybe I should trust the people that are telling me to do this and this with the ball for his own good. He should probably listen to them. And I think that's when if he does that too much, I think honestly, like that's good for the other teams because that's usually when bad things happen.
I agree.
So who are your top three?
I would flip the top three. I would make Jalen Hurts 1, Patrick Mahomes 2, and Josh Allen 3.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. I don't have Josh Allen in my top three. I'm going Mahomes 1, Hurts 2, and I'm going with Lamar Jackson at 3. Because I just feel like going into any of these things, obviously Lamar Jackson has an injury history, but I can't really factor in injury. I got to assume that he's going to play, for the purposes of this, right? And I also just feel like from a fantasy value standpoint, I feel like because he had because he was hurt, banged up at the end of last year, and because I feel like people kind of forgot about what a fantasy beast he is. I feel like he's undervalued. So from a value standpoint, even if I feel like Lamar and Josh Allen are going to be neck and neck, you're going to be able to get Lamar way later in the draft than you'll be able to get Allen. So that's how I look at it. Nice. So rounding out the ESPN top 5, they have Mahomes, Allen, Hurts. Then they have Jackson at 4, and then they have your boy Joe Burrow at 5. They have Justin Fields at 6. They have Justin Herbert at 7. They have Trevor Lawrence at 8. They have Deshaun Watson at 9. And then they got Dak Prescott at 10. Deshaun Watson is an interesting one for me because I do expect the Browns to have a better season this year. Deshaun Watson at his best, we've seen him be, he had the capability of being a number 1 fantasy quarterback with all that he could do and all that he did do when he was in Houston. But I don't know, man. I don't know where to rank him. You know what I mean? Like I feel like 9 is a weird place to rank him because for me personally, I feel like I'm either going to rank him that I think he's back.
5? Yeah.
Yeah, or
You're
I'm
right.
just going to drop him down.
5 or 20.
Like, if he's going to be what he was last year, then he's out the top 10. If that's what he is now. But if he's back, I think he's higher than 9.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's absolutely right. He's like a 5 or 20.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
I just
Like,
don't see him back end of the top 10 unless you're talking about that maybe he misses some games because he gets hurt or something. But I feel like if you're ranking him top 10, then you're expecting something out of that Browns offense. And if you're expecting something out of that Browns offense, I think Deshaun Watson could easily be top 5.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Where do you think he's gonna be? You think he's gonna be available? Like how long you think you get him?
That's a good question. I think you could probably get. I
feel like people are gonna be scared to get him early.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be probably like a. I think you're gonna see the top 3 to 4. I think you're gonna see Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, and Jackson go early. That'll be like the first wave of people who are going high on quarterbacks, and then I feel like the next wave is gonna start with Burrow, Fields, Herbert. And I don't know, it's tough because my philosophy with drafting quarterbacks in fantasy is always I either want to be the first or I want to be the last. I don't ever want to be in the middle. I don't ever want to get caught up in the run when somebody
Panic,
takes quarterbacks.
panic move.
I never want to do that. So like, I'm either reaching high because I want to solidify that position and not worry about it, or I'll wait. Like, because look, I mean, if you look at the ESPN consensus rankings, I'll keep going through them. After Dak at 10, you have Daniel Jones at 11, you have Tua at 12, you have Kirk Cousins at 13. Now, once you get to 13, you're already talking about non-starters in a 12-team league. If standard, for the most part, people play 12-team leagues. You're already talking about non-starters. And I also don't believe in drafting backup quarterbacks. I know a lot of people like to, have two quarterbacks and have options. Like, for me, I'd rather have one guy. That's who I'm starting until he either gets hurt or is his bye week. But I don't like to play quarterback matchups unless I'm streaming quarterbacks and I'm just gonna play. If I'm not gonna draft a quarterback at all, and I'm just gonna play a different quarterback every week. So that's just the way that I look at it. But I look at it this way, like, if you have, to me, there's a lot of value outside of the top 12 based on these consensus rankings. Kirk Cousins, I don't know how I feel about Kirk Cousins because of the changes on the offense, but Kirk Cousins, for the most part, is a pretty solid, reliable fantasy quarterback. And they have him ranked 13. They have Rodgers ranked 14. And Rodgers is another one that is like, I don't know where to put him, because I could make the argument that he could easily be top 7 if I'm expecting, like, if I'm looking at it like Rodgers is really rejuvenated and he has a lot of weapons and he's looking to, you could get into all that. He's looking to prove a point. He's trying to get another MVP, et cetera, et cetera. I could get into that, and I could be like, I think you could get crazy value drafting Rodgers late if he's going to hang around in your draft, and if the draft is going to go according to these, these rankings, I think that's way low. Like, if I'm going to take Rodgers, he's worth way higher than rank 14 to me.
Yeah, and at that point, you could just wait till one of the last 2 rounds and just scoop him up.
Yeah.
If you're going to do the value, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that, for example, I'm in like a 10 team, right? So it's like you said, it's like, if the only way one of those other, the other lower guys is if people don't, like, for example, Dak Prescott, somebody doesn't think Dak Prescott should be a top 10. You know what I'm saying? If somebody doesn't think, Trevor Lawrence, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's almost like at this point, it's like, if you wait until the top 5 are gone, then you might as well just wait and see who falls to you in the later round. Yeah. Don't bother getting this, like, reaching for the 6th quarterback, because at that point it's all jumbled up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does. Well, like, for example, like, they have Justin Fields 6th. You said, right?
Yes, sir.
I would put Justin Fields higher. Who's the 5th quarterback? Joe Burrow.
So 5 to 10 is Burrow, Fields, Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Watson, and Prescott.
I would put, in terms of fantasy, I know this is going to hurt you, Cheeks, but I would put Fields and Herbert a little bit higher than I would switch. I would put his spot behind those two and just push them up, just because of the running aspect.
Above Burrow?
Just because above Burrow, only because, like, you're talking about two big dudes that don't, I know Justin Fields got banged up, but that was a shoulder last year. I just think that the running, like, the running aspect is going to help in terms of fantasy get those points. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And when you get down to the red zone, it's going to be Joe. When you get down to the red zone, it's going to be Joe Mixon. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be forget who the other running back was that they used right there. It's not going to be Joe Burrow.
Oh, like, they lost
when it's
him.
Down at the
yeah,
when it's down at the
red. This guy anymore, right? P. Ryan.
Yeah, P. Ryan. Yeah, P.
Yeah, he went. Did he go to Dallas?
I thought he went to Carolina. I don't know.
Somewhere. Yeah, he's not there no more.
Yeah. but like you said, like you know, what I said, like it's not gonna be like Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields. When you get down to the 3 yard line, even Trevor Lawrence for that, no, for the sake of that argument. But when you get down to the 3 yard line, 2 yard line, goal line, um, the options for those teams are the quarterback or all the other players. For the Bengals, it's all the other players and all the other players. Especially because they're treating Burrow, or they should be, because he's getting banged up a couple times.
That's
They're
what I
gonna
was
treat
actually
him.
going to mention, that we still. I mean, no one has really talked about it too much because the season, we still got some time, but that Burrow injury is pretty mysterious. I still don't know. I mean, the last time I saw this guy Taylor speak about it, he was not offering any type of reassurance, or he did not instill any confidence in me that Burrow is going to be fully ready to go to start the season.
And
I haven't
what's
seen it.
crazy? It's like, remember when like all the warnings, sirens were going off when Aaron Rodgers like tweaked his calf when he was warming up
Oh
like a couple
yeah,
months ago.
yeah.
That got way more coverage than Joe Burrow, who has actually did something to his calf. And we're talking about like equal in terms of like AFC, like
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
comp.
he's the one that had a ACL reconstruction.
Yeah, that's what I
Right.
find it crazy. It's almost like, obviously, when it shouldn't, it like what they say about like, oh, the NFL, everybody could be a star anywhere, but like that, the only difference there is that was in Cincinnati and this was in New York.
New York.
Like there is no reason that should not be a bigger story, because like, first of all, from the jump where they thought that it was a career, not career ending, not gonna work.
Season?
I don't wish that on nobody, but a season-ending injury, that was the first scare, because they thought it was Achilles because of the non-contact
Yeah.
nature of the injury. But like, oh, he's gonna be out a few weeks, and it's like, yo, dog, like this is a Super Bowl, like this is one of the top Super Bowl like teams like that are going for the Super Bowl, top 5 Super Bowl teams, that, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, oh yeah, he might be out till week 2, he might be out till week 3. I'm like, yo, if they lose those 2 games, that can, like, that could be the difference between them getting the number 2 seed and the Bengals winning the division.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I liked. I guess it was it must have been 2 years ago. 3 off seasons ago, 2 seasons ago, I had Burrow as my quarterback, and I was able to get him crazy low. And they ended up going to the freaking Super Bowl. But when I can get somebody like that who I think is gonna have a good year way late, that's usually my quarterback strategy. I feel like there's only a handful of guys in that 5 to 10 tier that I could even see myself drafting, just because I feel like they'll go before I'm willing to take them. Only person who I would say out of those, Fields worries me, just because he can be so boom or bust with his rushing, and like, listen, he could very easily finish the season as the number 1 fantasy quarterback.
They could very easily finish 15.
Exactly. He could very easily have games like we've seen him be a force from a fantasy standpoint. Even last year, as they were losing games, he still had several very big time fantasy performances with his rushing. But even in a season where he had big time fantasy performances, he also had a couple of stinkers that'll kill you, that'll lose you a week.
Completed 2 passes.
Yeah, like that to me, that's too
I have a
that's too
problem with
much
him up there,
variation for me from the quarterback position. I personally would prefer, like, you tell me I could have Justin Fields and he's ranked 6th quarterback, and I'm gonna have to, draft him in the earlier rounds, or you telling me I could sit back and grab Kirk Cousins super late, and Kirk Cousins is never gonna have I shouldn't say never, but he's not likely to have a huge, big performance, 4 or 5 touchdowns, 400 yards. but he's gonna be 200 to 250. He's gonna give you 2 touchdowns, maybe a pick or 2, but he's gonna be steady. You know what I mean? He's gonna be consistent. You know what you're gonna get from him. He's never gonna win you a week, but he's not gonna lose you the week either.
Exactly.
And like personally, like that's how I like to take my quarterbacks, especially if I know I can get that later, and if I'm gonna be reaching for a guy high. That's kind of like the trickiness with Lamar Jackson too. Like as much as I think Lamar Jackson is gonna have a good season, the fact that he does, his style of play lends him to getting hurt, and he's not. I think he has a higher floor than Justin Fields, but he still suffers from that, from a similar high ceiling, low floor type of production standpoint. Yeah. The person who I really like in that middle tier, I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna have. I think he's gonna put up numbers this year. Wow. I think his second year with Peterson, we saw what Peterson was able to do with Carson Wentz. That that 1 year where he was, I mean, that people remember that obviously as that being the year where they won the Super Bowl and he was on his way, basically on his way to an MVP before he got hurt. But he was a fantasy monster for the first half of that, more than half, for the first at least 2/3 of that season. And I believe Trevor Lawrence to be better than Carson Wentz. I think if he can get, if he can digest that Doug Peterson offense the way that Carson Wentz did in that one magical year, Trevor Lawrence stays healthy, add Calvin Ridley to the team now. He's got weapons. I don't know, man. I think Trevor Lawrence would be the only one that I would look. Him and Deshaun Watson are the only two that are kind of like in the back end of that top 10 that if I'm super high on them, I might reach earlier. It would all kind of depend on the way that the draft plays out. But the other guys who are slightly above them, like Herbert, I could never see myself taking Justin Herbert. Even though he's good and he's going to give you big games and he's going to be consistent. He's going to be, a much higher end, similar to the way I was describing Kirk Cousins. But just where I need to draft him, there's not enough difference between him and what I expect out of somebody like Trevor Lawrence or, even Dak Prescott. Like, I mean, I'm not crazy about Dak Prescott as a football quarterback, but from a fantasy quarterback, if he can keep those picks under control, he's going to put up numbers. He puts up numbers every year.
He's throwing less than 10 this year, he said.
Yeah.
And he got new weapons. But for me, I actually,
what weapon? Like
Brandon Cooks, bro. Brandon Cooks.
I mean, yeah,
MVP.
he's underrated. He
is underrated. He always shows up. He always
shows up, but it's like if there's a reason people always trading you. Like I mean, he hasn't. I think he got drafted into the league in 2000.
He's been in a lot of teams, bro.
Either 2013 or 2016, somewhere in that range. He's been traded 4 times.
Yeah,
that's not something that happens, especially in this era of football. But
that means 2 things. There's teams that want him, though.
Yeah, and there's teams that value him enough to give up something for him, which is rare in the NFL. But you were going to say something about Prescott and about the Cowboys?
Me?
Yeah, word life.
No, I was going to move up. I will actually, because I gave my top. No, I actually want to move Herbert up. I want to move Herbert to my 4. I want him after Hurts. I put. I think Justin Herbert's gonna have a big year, man.
Big year. And why is that?
Clemens.
Nah, more
what?
Really because of weapons. I think.
Say one more time. Oh, Kellen Clemens, offensive coordinator. Yeah. The thing about Justin Herbert is that I think he's great, but I think they did him a disservice by not adding to that receiving core. I don't love Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen is always hurt.
Yeah, they added the young kid.
Yeah, but he's always his problem is drops. So I mean,
I don't know, man. I just
love his arm, bro. I think he has one of the best arms.
I think he's dope. Yeah. And again, like that, he's another quarterback who I took.
And he can run.
I had him a couple of years ago when I was able to get him super duper low. But if I'm gonna have to, if you're telling me you're ranking him 5 or 4, where you're gonna have to draft him, he'll never be on my team.
No, I get that. I just think he's capable.
Like, I don't think you're crazy to say he could finish number 4 overall in fantasy, but for me, I just where he's currently ranked, I don't love him enough that I would ever draft him that high.
Yeah, it's rare that if I'm gonna draft a quarterback early, it's gonna be that top.
They got to be a superstar.
Yeah, it got to be that top 3, man.
Yeah, or you
Probably
gotta be anticipating a crazy breakout. Like if you think Justin Fields is gonna have a crazy glow up this season, and with the weapons that he's gonna have, if you think he's gonna be like last year Jalen Hurts, then you take him, take him high, wherever you can get him. That's how I would look at it.
Exactly, but that's a gamble.
Because
I'd rather gamble on Tua. If I'm for real, that's me. Fields or Tua, I'd rather gamble on Tua.
I don't know, because I think Tua. I don't think. I don't know. I don't see Tua as like a fantasy quarterback like that.
But Tua,
you're not gonna really.
It's
more like a Kirk Cousins.
Well, his injury. You know what I'm saying? His injury. But
where you're gonna have to draft Tua, it's not really gonna be it's not really gonna be a gamble. You can get Tua.
That's what I'm saying.
10.
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather wait for a Tua than jump for a Fields. Feel me?
There's a lot of quarterbacks that are low that I would roll with.
Because even like with Justin Fields, like the difference between Fields and Hurts, like even when Hurts was like he wasn't convincing, like he still had to convince people that he could operate from the pocket. Hurts never had a game where he completed 2 passes or 3 passes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Fields, you mean Fields? Who's it? Hurts?
No, but I'm saying Hurts never went into his prove-it year. With the year before it being like a season where there was games that he completed a couple passes.
Yeah, even before his breakout, he wasn't like Justin Fields was giving you, he was giving you 3 for 18 games. Like it was crazy.
And rushing for 318. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but still, he
has some crazy stat lines.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, the rushing, you can't bank on the rushing when it comes to a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You have to bank on the ability of people to actually respect the passing game, because Justin Fields this year, what he's gonna like, I know he has DJ Moore or whatever, but like he's gonna have to get the ball out of his hands pretty quick.
Yeah,
He did that. I mean, he did that in the preseason game where he threw a pass that was negative air yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he took it to the house. DJ Moore did. But I'm saying, like, that's what they're going to challenge. They're going to challenge. Every team is going to challenge Justin Fields or let's say DJ Moore to be able to do that. And they're not going to, you could on a quarterback like Justin Fields, like you could play prevent defense. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's going to get. He's going to get looks like that to make sure that he can hit all the 10 to 12 yards past the line of scrimmage and open it up, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, obviously they got DJ Moore. He's the number one to be able to do that, to stretch the field and take those 10-yard passes and turn them into 80-yard touchdowns. But he's gonna have to prove it first, and DJ Moore is gonna have a lot on his back, to help him make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. And they got some other guys over there, but overall I don't think Justin Fields has enough. He hasn't shown me enough as a passer, A, and B, the team around him, I just don't think it's enough for me to put him that high. What is he, 6, right? I don't think he makes my top 6. I think I'm with H. Lawrence probably goes higher. I'll have Lamar there. Higher because I have Herbert at 4, so I'll probably put Lamar at 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. He might make my top 10, maybe 9, 10. But yeah, I don't have him that high.
So, outside of those top 15 guys, is there anybody that you are intrigued by bottom half of the league, is there anybody who you think could have value? Any quarterbacks who are not like the marquee names, none of those big top 15 guys who you're like they might, they could maybe have some value super late, undrafted. Maybe you pick them up after the draft or free agency or something like that. Because I mean, like one person who I'm thinking about, who I'm not and never have been a fan of, and I'm not saying this is my sleeper pick, but I'm just saying it's interesting because Kyler Murray, based off of his rushing ability, I think last season, going into the year, I think he was like a top 5 fantasy quarterback, expectation wise, going into the year. And now they have him ranked number 22, just above Jordan Love and just under Derek Carr. Now, again,
I think that
saying,
might be a product more of him being injured and not having clarity on when he's coming back. No.
So is he? So that I'm not sure about. Is he not expected to start the season as their starting quarterback? Because I just thought when I saw him with the sports bra on, I thought that he was practicing and that he's good to go.
Who's that?
Kyler.
Oh, Kyler, my fault. I had to step up.
So y'all don't have it. So there's nobody who y'all.
No, I think the only one I would take a flyer on is like Anthony Richardson for the Colts, like because that's kind of like the same boat where it's like the Jalen Hurts or Justin Fields type thing, where it's like, early on he's gonna play. He's gonna start from jump. He's gonna have to show obviously that he could throw the ball, but in the meantime he's gonna get a lot of those runs and.
Now, how do you think the uncertainty with Jonathan Taylor impacts him? Do you think he's better off if Jonathan Taylor is there and is a full go? Or do you think not having Jonathan Taylor forces them to maybe throw the ball more and maybe forces him to, provide more in terms of yardage with his legs and stuff like that if Jonathan Taylor is not a big part of the offense?
No, I think I don't know. I kind of think that he's...
Or do you think it doesn't matter either way?
I think it does matter. Like, obviously, I think it fares better for him if Jonathan Taylor is there, only because they obviously have to worry about that. And for those RPOs and, you know what I'm saying, like those type of plays, he could flourish in. You know, you have to have a legitimate threat for the defense to get sucked into that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. What I will tell you
Jonathan
is that
Taylor.
No, go ahead.
If there's no Jonathan Taylor, it kind of sets eyes like, okay, we're not gonna let this guy beat us with the run.
Yeah. The one thing I'm worried about for Anthony Richardson is if this guy he threw. I didn't watch a ton of I didn't watch any preseason, but I saw the highlight of Anthony Richardson throwing a dime to Pierce and he dropped it.
Yeah.
A dope pass that would have been a touchdown and he dropped it. So if they're going to let him down like that, then he's going to be in real trouble. They better really get it together because at minimum what you need if you're going to go into the season starting a rookie quarterback, you need the pass catchers to help him out. So is there anybody word life, anybody that you view as a potential sleeper, low back end of the league quarterback who you might think has some fantasy value?
Outside of the 15, I think it's like obviously outside of the 15 is iffy. Geno, is he gonna be the same? Is he gonna do the same thing? Is he gonna go resort to being the old
he's being
Geno?
overlooked as well,
He's being overlooked a lot because of the way he ended the season. But that's one. I'm very interested.
He didn't write back, and they're still gonna write him off. I thought we already been through this.
I don't understand. But
at this point, you would think somebody would write back.
That's what I would have thought. I would have thought that he's getting all kinds of love letters now, but they're still not writing back. Damn.
Nah. I'm very interested in Love. I want to see Love, bro, because
you think you're interested in him as a fantasy quarterback?
Yeah, like you're saying outside of the 15, that somebody that that might surprise
Yeah.
people.
So you think he has potential to have a little bit of a breakout, productive year?
Yeah, I don't think that the Packers were that off in as a full team. As defense and offense. They weren't. Obviously Rodgers didn't play to his potential, regardless if it was hurt or not. I just think Love could be probably if he pans out, he could be a sleeper there. He could be
Yeah.
somebody that you could pick up late and could be productive. And like you said, some people like to draft that second quarterback just in case, and he might be somebody that in the NFC that you could get late. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm struggling to get a feel for him because it's like
Me too.
that's one of the things. Is like when you're in Green Bay and like in all those small towns, like you could kind of hide. You could hide it like and suppress the information that's coming out of there. So it's like some people say that he's looking terrible. Some people say that he's looking good. It's like you don't really know what because it's almost like everything is locked down over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard to get a feel. It's hard to get a feel for him.
Yeah.
I do want to add on to Anthony Richardson. I think he's gonna fucking stink. I think he's gonna stink it up early.
Really?
I really do. Did you see the pick that he threw?
No,
I did.
Yo,
yes.
that pick
I
was
saw
so
the pick he threw.
fucking disgusting. Like that's what
I watched him in college. I saw him play for
Yeah,
Florida.
I know. Yeah,
AR-15.
and that's the kind of thing that you like, yo, bro. Like I saw the dot he threw that you said. It's like what a fucking toe, and he was like moving and all that shit. But then you see that pick, it's like, oh, like who are we gonna get? You know what I'm saying? And at what point does the pressure get to him? And he's like, everybody's just banking on him with no Taylor, with you know what I'm saying, with what do you call that receiving crew? Mediocre, above average. You know, like what do you call them? Average. Yeah, the Colts receivers. You call them average, trash,
I call
right?
him trash.
Well,
So now you're talking about a rookie quarterback.
Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman's legitimate at least.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about Michael Pittman.
Yeah, average.
No, but I would say you know what I would say? He's probably at the their wide receiver core is probably around the same as like the Giants last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
trash.
Well, the Giants, that was trash.
You said it right there.
Except for Kenny Galladay.
I actually think they're way better than the Giants last year. I think the Giants last year had the worst receiver core in the league. I don't think that they're going to have the worst receiving core in the league.
Except for Kenny Galladay, obviously.
I think that was overplayed a little bit.
Is he even still there? Where is he?
Nah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Is he unsigned?
I think he's cleaning windows for them now.
Is he still in the league or no?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't heard anything.
I feel what you're saying about Anthony Richardson. The only reason you could say he's gonna stink, but if you're basing it off of that interception, I could look at Anthony Richardson and I could see him having a very similar, and this is high end. If you're high on Anthony Richardson, I could see him having a Cam Newton-ish rookie season where he shows a ton of potential, has some amazing plays, rushing, throws for a ton of yards because he's faking people out, but he's also gonna throw. I think he almost had a 2020. He almost did the who's
no, that was 30-30.
Jameson.
That's 30 for 30.
Oh yeah, that was 30.
Yeah, he did 30-30. Yeah,
that's a once in a lifetime. But he almost had a 20. I know he threw 20 touchdowns, but I think he had almost 20 interceptions. So I can see Richardson having a similar season like that if he's good. You know what I'm saying? I could see him have it, and that in a football context would be a stinky season. But for fantasy purposes, if you think that even if he throws picks, I think he's gonna make a lot of those rookie mistakes. But it'll be interesting to see. For me, my back end quarterbacks, I see what you're saying about Love. I just can't see myself wasting a roster spot on my team for him.
Me too. Yeah.
I feel like he would be somebody that if he has a good couple of first weeks and I'm like, okay, maybe he's gonna be something, maybe I'll pick him up off of waivers if he's still there, but I can't see myself wasting a draft pick on him and wasting a roster
somebody
spot.
That's somebody that you're kicking yourself because instead of him you didn't draft one of the rookie wide receivers or something like that.
No one's gonna draft Love. You're not gonna draft him. You're gonna, like you said, you're gonna get him maybe off the waivers like after week 1. Like, oh shit, he had a pretty good game. Let me grab him up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna draft him.
Who I do think is ranked too low, and I think that just in general, people are a little too down on this team. Matt Stafford being ranked just above Kenny Pickett, yo, if you're telling me he's gonna get hurt again, yeah. But I think that people are way too down on Stafford and way too down on the Rams in general. The Rams still have the best quarterback in the division. Unless you want to talk about Geno Smith, maybe. But peak Stafford is better than peak Geno Smith. Peak Geno Smith was last season, and peak Stafford is better than that.
Yeah.
They still have the best receiver in their division who's catching balls from Stafford. And they still have the best defensive player in the division in Aaron Donald if he decides he wants to play. And, you know, if he's all in, there's been questions about is he going to retire, this and that. But, and to me, you can give me Kyle Shanahan, I'll take Sean McVay. I still think he's the best coach in the division. So the idea that people are thinking that the Rams are just going to be trash and that, that everything Rams-esque is ranked at the bottom of the league this season, I think from a betting standpoint and from a fantasy standpoint, to me, if I had to pick out one team where there's value all over the place, to me it's the Rams because I believe in Sean McVay. I've seen and also there was something Sean McVay committing to the Rams in the offseason told me something because there was all that speculation last year about is he going to take a broadcasting job? Is he going to retire? Is he going to walk away? He's getting tired of this, blah, 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 blah. So I feel like last year was just kind of like a Super Bowl hangover year. Nobody was really all in. They were all fat and happy off of winning that Super Bowl. But McVay committing to coming back, I don't think he's going to come back to lose. I don't think he's going to come. I don't think he had options, and I don't think he would just come back if he doesn't expect the team to compete.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it for the money because he had more money coming. Like, he had options to get more money.
If he was going to chase a bag, he would have went and took the Tom Brady job or done one of those broadcasting joints. So to me, I just feel like the Rams. Like, I'm not saying that they're going to be I'm not going to say they're going to win the division. I'm not even going to say that they necessarily would be a playoff team. But I don't think they're going to be this walkover, pushover like everybody thinks that they're going to be. I think that, Stafford is still a quality quarterback. I still think he's the best quarterback in the division. Sean McVay is back, and I don't think he's back just going through the motions. I think if he's going to commit to it, he's committed to it. Cooper Kupp, if he's fully healed from his injury, he's uncoverable. We've seen, I am a Cooper Kupp believer. I was a skeptic for a long, long time, but those last couple of years, he proved it to me, and especially once Stafford came over, and that connection was unstoppable. They rode that connection to a Super Bowl. So, if you're telling me I could pick up, if I don't even got to draft a quarterback in fantasy, and I could just pick up Stafford for nothing and see how it goes, there's no reason for me to think that Stafford can't finish the season as a top 10 quarterback. Why not?
Yeah, you got Van Jefferson, you got Tutu Atwell.
He still has Allen?
No.
Who, Allen Robinson? Oh, he's
a
Steeler,
he left, right?
isn't he?
No, he's a Steeler.
That's right.
I think they drafted another wide receiver fairly high, but they got decent weapons. I don't know what the running back situation looks like.
All they need is Cooper Kupp, bro.
How's that O-line?
I'm sorry, but Cooper Kupp.
The O-line is a problem as well.
The O-line is a problem, but I trust Sean McVay to find ways to have that offense be respectable and productive with whoever's there. Because Sean McVay been there for a minute, and he's never had a terrible offense when he had a quarterback. Never. No matter who was in there, no matter whether it was OBJ, no matter if it was Robert Woods, no matter who the receivers were, no matter who, he did it with no running backs. Cam Akers is, we still don't know what the hell he's trying to do. He was asking for a trade, and then they benched him. But he's always found a way to make that offense respectable. So I believe that there's crazy value to be had with Matt Stafford being ranked almost damn near 20 I think that that's just crazy. Like, if you're telling me that he's hurt or something like that, maybe. Also, I'm surprised that Jared Goff is ranked right above him at 18, just because the Lions are everybody's favorite, darling, lovely pick, and it's
crazy.
because of their offense, is it not?
Yeah.
So if that's the hype, if
And the
the
coach.
Lions are the team that is expected to be the darling of the NFC, how are they going to do that with an 18th ranked Jared Goff quarterback in the team?
Yeah, that's crazy. No, that's a good point. I don't get all the Lions hype. Like, I get it because of the way they finished, but I mean,
And they play hard. They play hard. That's really
Yeah,
what it is. They play
it's
hard.
like-
It didn't
yeah,
hurt
they
that they
play
was
hard.
on Hard Knocks the year before.
no, and it's and you know they traded DeAndre Swift. That, I mean, that was a big piece. I mean, I know they got Gibbs, and he's supposed
Lost
to be
Williams.
crazy.
I think it was more of a loss for them to lose Williams over Swift, because Swift is always hurt anyway. You can never rely on
No,
him.
yeah, no, you're
Williams
right.
carried that rushing, that carried that
And
team
also-
from a
and
running
he-
standpoint.
And
But
also
now they have
let's not-
Montgomery.
Yeah, but let's not overlook the fact that like the type of leader that Jamal Williams was as well. So you know,
Weeping.
no, that's what I'm saying. It's like did you lose heart? Like, because David Montgomery, like he's been around, he's been around
He's
like
injury
garbage.
prone, too.
You know what I'm saying? He's been around garbage most of his career. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and then you got a rookie, and the style, and also it's like the style of football that they want to play is the Jamal Williams type of style, where it's like goal line, we're gonna punch you in the face. Like he had, I forget how many touchdowns he had. It was like 18 or
Yeah,
or
he
it
went
might have been
crazy.
more.
Double digit for sure.
Yeah,
definitely
so it's
double
like
digits. He was the first to
that's the
double
style.
digit.
Yeah, but no, it's like, do you think like David Montgomery doesn't put that like that type of fear in you, like down in the red
No.
zone? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
but how much is
Jahmyr
that?
Gibbs-
How much is that with the team he was with? You know what I'm saying?
I'm curious to see
No,
what that
man,
what
nah.
that rushing
Yeah.
attack, or the combination of. I think that they're trying to just interchangeably swap out. I think that they are hoping that Gibbs can stay healthy, and he can be what they wanted Swift to be. And I'm hoping that I think that they're hoping that Montgomery can be that change of pace that they expected Williams to be, when Williams ended up being their primary back because Swift could not stay healthy. I think that they're trying to like redo it just with different pieces.
Yeah, but also I think that they might be outsmarting themselves, because remember, that's the same thing. Like the Brad Holmes, he came from the Rams, and that's kind of like the same thing that they try to do with like Todd Gurley and the mishmash of running backs that they've had recently. I know it worked for them. Like they did get their Super Bowl, but I'm saying like since that, their rushing attack hasn't been like as formidable as they wanted to be in terms of the Rams. And I don't know if like Brad Holmes is trying to mimic that same
Well, Todd
like,
Gurley was a
mentality.
one-man show.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? They once, obviously he had the injury or whatever, and they felt that he was disposable. Like I'm saying, like Cam Akers. Cam Akers is in the same type of Alvin Kamara, Jahmyr Gibbs type of
Isn't, you're
DeAndre.
saying.
No, he is like that style. Like that's the style that they wanted. Like one running back, like Thunder and Lightning style.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The Rams or the Lions?
The Rams, that's what the Rams were trying to do, like with Cam Akers, and then having all the other running backs, the stable of running backs. I think that's what Brad Holmes is trying to do with the Lions, to where like we could just get a new one. We could just get a new one. We could just get a new one. And sometimes, you need to leave one in first to show the way, then get rid of the one, and then get in and replace that one, as opposed to replacing both at the same time.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with these with the Lions backfield. I was just surprised to see, like, I'm not high on Goff, but I was surprised to see him ranked so low, considering how everybody has these high expectations for the Lions. But I guess that remains to be seen. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll finish it out with the tight ends.
That's quick, because it's only like top three, and then
There's only a few. There's only a handful of relevant ones, and then everybody else, you're just praying for a TD.
Word. That's a good line.
Fresh champion, they trying to feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'ma call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying. No waiting for my mans to show up, cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave.
Hey, yo, Element, what's good, girl?
Fucking maze out here.
These fucking streets got a nigga going crazy, It's like a house of screams, done. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm way much chiller than most. I ain't frontin' at all. I'm flirting with maintaining and broke. But who you know that's iller with words? Yeah, clearly disturbed. That really actually dealt with some coke. Elmhurst where they murdering folk. 15 years later and I'm still here serving you dope. Only now it's informing some mean bars is cream, but some are more chasing that green card is Queen's Guard. Better learn how to think fast. These bitch ass niggas that's off to some bitch ass. Assault them, throw salt in their wounds. That's deeper than watching loved ones cook boy in the spoon. Just for young boys locked in a room. Group homes, no visits, turn vicious, feel alive in the tomb. Young guys watch most of them coons. Yeah, they lying, they zooms. A loot of life they ain't never consumed. So my niggas gonna light it up. I provide a feeling one can only get while being cuffed on the Rikers bus. Whole killers say they side with us. We keep a bag of iron sticks like we play for the Riders Cup. Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? I'm trying to tell them, done. I hear them screams.
And we're back. And we will finish this out. Finish out this fantasy football preview with the tight ends. We shouldn't. Not too much to get into with the tight ends. I mean, I think we all know who the marquee names are when it comes to fantasy production and reliability from the tight end position. And then everybody else, you know, there's probably a couple of rookies that maybe you want to take a flyer on, or you know, we had a couple of players change teams, but I don't think that there's anybody. For the most part, you're just hoping and praying for a TD. But so the current tight end rankings as ESPN has them, of course, obviously number one is Travis Kelce. I don't think anybody would object to that, right?
Nope.
Nah, not at all.
So number one is Travis Kelce. Number two is Mark Andrews, who I feel like they've been 1 and 2 for the last few years. 3 is interesting to me in TJ Hawkinson, only because Kirk Cousins really loves him some TJ Hawkinson, and that having a full season with him, in addition to the departure of Adam Thielen, I think that those targets and those opportunities are probably going to go to. I mean, I don't think we can add any of the Thielen targets to Justin Jefferson. I think his targets are what they are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think if you're trying to look to where the rest of those targets are going to go and where the rest of that production in the receiving game is going to go, I don't think necessarily it's going to go to the number 2 or number 3 receiver. I think they gave up assets to get TJ Hawkinson last year, and I think that will probably be where that production goes. So I think he's rightfully ranked at 3, but I don't want to go as far as to say that he could pass Kelce, but I wouldn't be surprised to see if he passes Andrews at the end of the year, especially with the Ravens now adding more pass catchers. It's almost like the reverse of Hawkinson, right? It's like Hawkinson, I expect to benefit from the departure of receivers in Minnesota, and I expect the additions of OBJ to maybe take a little bit off of Mark Andrews, because I think as good as he is, I think a lot of his benefit came from the fact that he was the only guy for the most part in Baltimore.
Yeah.
100% there. I think also J.K. Dobbins coming back, having him out of the backfield to catch passes. I think Mark Andrews is going to go down. He's obviously still a threat. He's obviously good, especially like he was very good. His touchdown production wasn't all there like last year. Obviously, that's a product of Lamar being out. But I honestly would put T.J. Hawkinson 2. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Only because like how you were saying, Cheeks, earlier about you don't know who the Chiefs wide receivers are.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Tyreek Hill that he has to force the ball to. That's the opposite of, like you mentioned, H. That's the opposite of Mark Andrews. You're gonna have to feed OBJ.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to feed Zay Flowers. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins is there too. You can't downplay the fact that Lamar is gonna eat up some of those touchdowns as well. With George Kittle, that he's gonna he's now that CMC is there for the full year, that's gonna bite into that. Deebo Samuel, obviously Brandon Ayuk, Darren Waller. That he's an injury concern, and that he has some upside in terms of his actual production, and potential. But if he gets hurt, down the drain again. Kyle Pitts is the only other guy that I could see maybe creeping up a little bit. But besides that, it's slim pickings. It's not like you said with the quarterbacks. Like it's after 5, it's a drop off. You could plug and play. With to me, it's only 2. It's T.J. Hawkinson and Travis Kelce. After that, you could go. You could plug in Dallas Goedert, Njoku. You know what I'm saying? Like there's plenty of people you could plug in there at any given moment. And besides that, it's not really an area of focus.
Another thing about Andrews, another thing that in my eyes is another little chip off of Andrews that knocks him down a little bit for me is that they really like this kid Likely. They really like him they like him almost as a 1-2 punch at tight end. And then when Andrews got hurt, they liked what Likely was doing filling in for him. And
he did well.
They drafted him. And I think that they have expectations to get him some touches as well, for whatever that's worth. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I actually like him at 2.
Andrews
at 2, just because he has a connection with Lamar. Like, yeah, OBJ, he's gonna try to feed him. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know what the connection is with OBJ. Like, at the end of the day, when you have that target, you go to your target, bro. And
yeah, but he's gonna force feed OBJ, man.
He is. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not. But when shit is getting thick, you tend to go to your guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying he's not gonna force OBJ the ball. I feel like that connection is strong with him and with Lamar and Andrews, and I think he's gonna continue to get him the ball. Maybe not as much, but I could still see. I feel confident enough that I'll keep him at my number 2. Me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you, and I feel you in that, like, there is something to be said. There is value to an already established connection for sure. Like I definitely think, and also when you're talking about tight ends, there also is value to, like knowing what you have, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, red zone. Like we know what Andrews can be capable of in the red zone. We know that Lamar is going to look for him. So that there definitely is value to that. I don't disagree. And I don't disagree with that.
No,
and we're forgetting the fact that fucking he's almost I've seen him catch the ball on 4 fucking defenders. Like
not on Sauce Gardner, he didn't.
he's unguardable. I've seen him be unguardardable. So there's also
not
that.
On Sauce Gardner, he wasn't. But
yeah, well,
Sauce is guardable.
Sauce is different,
No, but but the other thing is like, anytime the backup tight end or the second tight end's name, or that he's going to be a focus, that's kind of like that's like Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. Like, you don't like we don't really have a backup for Kelsey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't really have a backup for Hawkinson. So it's like
No, I get it.
I think Irv Smith is there, but I'm saying like when there's there's
He
just
is,
too much
yeah.
going on. There's too many mouths to feed for some of these other tight ends. So when it's like you're because a tight end besides Kelsey is pretty much touchdown dependent. And when you have two tight ends and you got a lot of weapons, a lot of mouths to feed, a running back that you want to get in, a running quarterback that you want to get in there, that's just a recipe for
Less
bunch of 0.2s, 1.8s. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
I can see it. I can see it, and I actually like Hawkinson a lot too. So I can see it. But I don't know. Just for me, I keep on Andrew.
After Hawkinson, this one is interesting to me too. After Hawkinson at 4, they have ranked at 4 Darren Waller. Now, Darren Waller, the issue that everybody brings up with him is he going to be healthy, because he's had so much trouble staying healthy the last couple of years. Obviously, when he has been healthy, he's been super productive when his time with the Raiders. The thing that interests me about Waller with the Giants is that, as opposed to Hawkinson and Andrews, Waller is the only other guy who I look at and I think that he could be the number 1 passing option. Like,
that's true.
Mark Andrews was the number 1 passing option by a lot. Going into this season, I think it'll be probably 1A, 1B with him and OBJ. Hawkinson obviously is not the number 1 passing option with Minnesota. That goes to Justin Jefferson. But Darren Waller, again, obviously the question is staying healthy, but from a pass-catching standpoint, if he plays all the games, I think he will lead that team in targets. I think he'll lead that team in targets. I think he'll lead that team, obviously, in red zone targets. So just from an opportunity standpoint, I'm not saying I'm going to expend a high fantasy draft pick on Waller, but I do look at him in comparison to a guy like Andrews and Hawkinson. As high as I am on Hawkinson, and I expect him to pick up more production this year, I like the idea of having a guy who's going to be the main focus in terms of the passing game for any offense.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. Yeah, I actually got him up there.
Because they have Kittle ranked 5 after him, and Kittle is
who's third? Hawkinson. Okay.
Yes, Kelsey, Andrews, Hawkinson, top 3. Then
I
it's
agree
Waller,
with that
Kittle, Kyle Pitts. The reason why I can't do Kyle Pitts is because we've seen Kyle Pitts be the number 1 option, and it didn't get him anywhere.
And they want to run the ball. They're such a run heavy team that
but
he started losing his reps because he wasn't a great blocker.
Not only that, it's you got to remember where Arthur Smith came from, their head coach. He's coming from King Henry.
Why did they draft him so high?
Well, because that's what worked for Arthur Smith. When his offense was running, it was King Henry, and they wanted a running back that was like the guy. So that's why they got their big wide receiver in Drake London. They got their running back that's like the star, their star running back in Bijan Robinson. And when the tight ends in Tennessee when he was the head coach, it was just like Delaney Walker. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just a touchdown. So he could be a touchdown red zone guy, but that's far too that's too wavy. Yeah,
they need more from him though.
Pitts is
they need
terrible
more
in the red zone.
But that's what I'm saying.
I think, does he have
he's frail.
He's like 3 or 4 career touchdowns?
But that's what I'm saying in terms of that's how Arthur Smith called his offense when he was in Tennessee, and in the red zone. If you're not good, like you're saying that Kyle Pitts is, then there's nothing for him. It's too hit or miss. If he's not taking a 30-yard pass and making it happen on his own from Desmond Ritter, who's also a quarterback that you can't rely on either in terms of fantasy production, then whatever. I know Kyle Pitts, top 5 pick, whatever, but that's just not gonna rock because in terms of like you can't depend on. He could be as good as you want, but you can't depend on him giving you points.
Yeah, this number 6 ranking, I feel like, has to be based off of opportunity. They expect him, similar to how I expect Waller to lead the team in targets. Maybe they expect Pitts to lead the team in targets, but I expected Pitts to lead the team in targets the last 2 years, and he didn't. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, his rookie year, coming off of where they drafted him, I wanted him in my fantasy draft because I was like, yo, at minimum, unless he's garbage, at minimum he's gonna get 10 targets a game. You don't draft a guy top 5 tight end and have no receivers on the team and not get him the ball, not get him targets. And he didn't get targets. He was finishing games with like 3-4 targets. And I'm like, yo, what was the point of this? What'd you draft him for?
Yeah,
especially number 4, man. That's
crazy.
That's an important pick.
I think he just last year was just that he didn't fit what they wanted to do. They were running the ball well, and it didn't
this
fit.
year's going to be the same.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I agree.
It's going to be even more because last year they didn't have Bijan Robinson.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you.
No, but they had the man.
Patterson. He's the fucking.
Yeah, but they still have him.
Who?
Patterson.
Cordero?
Yeah.
Or Tyler?
He's still there. They're both there.
Algier, please. So after Pitts,
they like
Welcome
him,
to Algiers.
they have exactly. After Pitts, they round out the top 10. At number 7, they have Dallas Goedert. At number 8, they have Pat Freiermuth, which I think that's real high.
I don't understand that
At
one.
9, they have Evan Ingram. I would definitely put him above Freiermuth. I might even put him above Goddard.
I'll put him over Pitts.
It's tough because I would, from a value standpoint, where you're going to draft him, 100%. I would I'm Evan Ingram over Pitts all day. The only thing that makes me is this going to be the year that they're going to prioritize Pitts in the offense. That's the only thing. Like, I'm a big opportunity guy, and especially when it comes to tight ends, like, I could see Evan Ingram. I mean, there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed in that Jacksonville offense. I think that they re-signed Evan Ingram, so I think that they haven't, they have intentions of using him and getting him targets, getting him the ball.
And that's coming off the franchise. You know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
it was,
So they clearly and again, Peterson is a guy who we've seen him get production out of tight ends big time. Even Evan Ingram last year, if Evan Ingram is what he is last year, he's a good fantasy tight end, and I expect him to be better.
I think he's gonna be better too. And
I'm like with
Lawrence
Kyle
went
Pitts,
to him
it's just like I don't personally want to touch him, but I could see the rankings just in that if you're ranking him that high, you just expect that this is gonna be the year that he becomes the guy. I don't believe it.
I don't
but
see
if the experts say, then I guess it's something to keep an eye on. Maybe they're plugged in. They get in.
Now with Bijan Robinson, man. Like even if it stayed the same, maybe. But when you add Bijan Robinson at number 8,
you say that this is the same team that added Pitts and did nothing with him. I don't trust these motherfuckers. I understand what you're saying, but from a pass catching standpoint, I feel no confidence that Bijan Robinson is going to impact the opportunities for Kyle Pitts.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, but the only thing is, he's not going to get, like, in my opinion, he's not going to get more once they added another target out of the backfield. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is just not trending. Like, if you tell me who's, like, I feel like the team, Jacksonville, is trending towards using Ingram, and I feel like Atlanta's trending the opposite of using Pitts.
My only question about how they're going to use Ingram, and like I said, I do believe that they're
a
going
lot
to
of
find
mouths
ways
to
to get it. You're adding Calvin Ridley, who did not play last year. If you're expecting Calvin Ridley to be a focal point of the offense to some degree, if you expect him to be the number one, like, who do you think is going to lead the Jaguars in targets?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
Do you
Ridley.
think it'll be Ridley, or do you think it'll be This guy, what's his name from that came over from Arizona? I forget his name.
Jones, not Jones.
Dude with the hairline.
I just
Christian
had
Clark.
this.
Yeah.
No,
Christian
not
Kirk.
Clark.
Christian
Oh,
Kirk.
Clark.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other one.
DJ Chark.
No, Jones.
He's
What's
gone.
his name? Jones.
Marvin
What's
Jones.
Zay Jones.
No, the other one.
Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones.
Not Marvin Jones. What was the other
Which
one's
Jones
name?
are you talking about?
He was the number one. He wasn't. It's not a Jones then. He was his number one last year.
Christian Kirk was his number one last year.
Plus,
was
they also have ETN coming out the backfield.
Fuck, man, I had to look it up. Fuck. He was the number one, I thought.
But anyway, that's the only thing for me with Evan Ingram. But if you can get Evan Ingram in a late round, I love that. I love that pick of I think he's gonna have a solid year, and I think they got plans for him. Now, David Njoku ranks out the top 10. I feel like David Njoku is similar to Kyle Pitts in that, like, I feel like he's always this is gonna be the year that we see David Njoku have to break out, and whether it's injuries or just not being a focal point of the offense, I feel like he's just a total hit or miss guy. I have no confidence in him.
Yeah.
Now, how do we feel about Dalton Schultz, who was good with the Cowboys, but now he's in Houston, still in Texas, because he's ranked 11.
I could see him getting a lot of plays drawn up for him, only because with a rookie QB, maybe that's going to be the go-to target for him.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, Damian Pierce, their number one running back, really is not a pass catcher out of the backfield, so maybe that there's some upside there. But you also have to bank on CJ Stroud actually being good. So
yeah, that's the issue there.
I don't like Schultz. I don't like Schultz. I don't like where he's ranked. I don't like Njoku. I don't like where he's ranked. I think it's too high. Not crazy about Freiermuth. I don't like where he's ranked. I think Freiermuth is a guy that I'll pick him up off the waivers and I'll start him if my tight end gets hurt or if my tight end is on a bye.
Mm-hmm.
But top 10, number 8, no way.
No.
Even if I think Kenny Pickett is going to take a step forward, which I do think he will this year. I think he'll be better this year. I think that offense will be better this year, but not to the point that I'm going to be having Pat Freiermuth number 8. No way. So is there anybody outside of, obviously, the names we've mentioned in this top 10 who you have eyes on in terms of tight ends? Because I got a few.
Yeah. It was Zay Jones, by the way. But, I got...
Zay Jones is not there no more.
He's not?
It was last year. No, because Zay Jones is...
Zay Jones is
where
a
is
Raven.
Zay Jones?
Is he?
That's the other receiver that I was saying, I was trying to think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. So that's so damn. So you're right.
In terms of other tight ends that maybe I want to look at, maybe it's to me the only one really is it's got to be Sam Laporta from the Lions.
Don't let me down. What are you doing?
What? He's been killing it in practice.
Okay. That's your tight end.
I mean, who else is it? Like, I'm not going to go to a team that has multiple tight ends. Like Dalton, like I said, Dalton Knox,
this coming
right?
from the same guy who his touchdown pick every week was Tyler Conklin. But anyway, I'll play along.
Yeah, I was doing
I'll play along.
Yeah, but I mean, like for
Tight
example,
ends
like
who I
Dalton.
like. I'm just fucking with you. We don't have to drag it out. Tight ends who I like late. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Sam Laporta, like the other, Dalton Kincaid, who's supposedly killing it in Buffalo. He has Dawson Knox to compete with. All these almost every other decent tight end has another tight end that's going to be on the field with them. So I'm going with Sam Laporta. He's from Iowa, so Iowa tight ends, they're going to get playing time, they're going to get burned. So that's the only guy I would take a flyer on late.
Yeah. I like Kincaid a lot. I think he's definitely something they're going to utilize. I know they have I thought they still have Knox, right?
Yes.
Above him? Yeah, so
But
I
he
think
is actually
Kincaid
ranked in the ESPN rankings. They have Kincaid ranked above Knox.
Okay. Yeah, and I could see that. I could see Kincaid being a force early.
He's a rookie too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Huh?
'cause he's a rookie too. So it's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a
they
lot of
brought him in
attention
for
on
a
him.
reason.
Yeah.
you
And
gotta draft some Laporta. Yeah, you gotta go draft some Laporta.
and who and
Right. I like that you did this joint too.
That's the go-to.
Excellent.
I don't know any more Reagan moves.
who's the number one guy for the Patriots? I know they got the guy from Miami, right?
None of them.
What do you mean? Which guy
Gesicki?
from Miami?
Uh,
Gesicki.
Gesicki.
Yeah, I think he's their number one.
I think
Is
he's.
Hunter Henry's still there?
Yeah, I think they still got Henry.
The Patriots, man, stay away from the Patriots. That's the
Yeah, but they
mishmash.
used it. But the thing is that they like to use the tight end. That's the only reason why I bring him up.
No, I feel
I know-
you. And they brought in, and they brought in Gesicki for a reason. Obviously, that like when you see them bring in a guy who they're obviously very familiar with in the division, and they prioritize bringing him in at the tight end position, which they have, obviously historically, made a focal point of the offense. I get what you're saying. I feel you.
And
with
I always
Gesicki.
felt like Gesicki was being underused in Miami. I always felt that way. I always thought when they used him, he showed up. So he made
Until
a lot
he
of
did that
spectacular
gritty.
catches.
That gritty was probably why they kicked him out. They had to get rid
I
of
think
him.
that's what it
after
was.
that. Yeah.
I think
They were
Hill
like,
made
take that whack ass gritty. You and Mac Jones can go gritty together,
the
motherfucker.
worst gritty together. Word. But nah, I would keep an eye on Gesicki on the low.
Okay, so
I thought-
my two sleeper tight ends, it goes right along with what I was saying about the Rams.
Ooh, Higbee.
Your man Stafford loves Higbee, and he don't have nobody to throw to outside. It's gonna be, we know, as far as the passing game from the Rams, it's gonna be Cooper Kupp number 1, Higbee number 2. As long as Higbee can stay healthy, you're gonna get production and value from him way, way, way late in the draft. And then my second one is your boys pick, your boy Mike Vrabel. I think Okongwu is gonna be low key. I wouldn't be surprised to see him finish top. I wouldn't be shocked to see him finish top 5, but I think he can come in top 7, 8 tight ends if he can stay healthy. Because I mean, who's Tennessee throwing the ball to? They brought him in for a reason, and I think they like him. I think he's gonna get opportunities. I think he's gonna get red zone opportunities.
Didn't Traylon Burks get carted off? I didn't see what the update
Yeah,
was.
he did.
Yes.
Yo, I love that pick. I love that pick. I just don't. The Titans look like they're just spiraling downward, and it's hard.
Yeah,
for me
no,
to,
I agree with you.
But as a player,
that's where you gotta go. Those are the teams you gotta go
Yeah.
to for the value when it comes to fantasy. You know what I mean? The forgotten bottom of the barrel. That's why,
They're gonna
I'm
get
not huge.
10 catches for 73 yards.
Exactly. Ryan Tannehill, if he ends up starting for the Tennessee Titans, which we don't even know if they're gonna go with Malik Willis or this other kid, whatever his name is. But either way, even if they do go with one of the rookies, obviously there is the cliche about, tight ends being a rookie's, safety go-to safety blanket in the passing game. But I think it's going to be the same thing even if Ryan Tannehill starts. Ryan Tannehill has shown us that he don't like to push the ball down the field like that. And I just think that if you're telling me I can get a Kongwu with the last round of my draft, or I got to take Goddard in the 8th round, I'll just sit and wait, and I'll roll the dice with a Kongwu, because a guy like Goddard, he's gonna get opportunities, but there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. You gotta talk about AJ Brown. You gotta talk about obviously Jalen Hurts and what he does. They got Swift, who's gonna be catching balls out of the backfield, and Devontae Smith. So I like a guy who's going to get a lot of opportunities, who I can get way, way late in the bottom of the draft, maybe not even have to draft him. Maybe the draft is over, you just pick him up because nobody's drafted him. I'll take a guy like that. So that's for me. I'm looking at Higbee, and I'm looking at Okongwu as my two late maybe not even drafted guys who are going to give you value and can give you production from the, from a fantasy standpoint. Like both of their teams might be terrible, and then I don't expect them to make the playoffs. But when those teams are behind, and the second half they're just trying to, complete passes and get down the field because they're down by 2 scores. That's when you're gonna get a Kongwu catching, a bunch of little over the top.
Yeah. And he's nice.
Yeah, no, he could play. I think he could. He could play, and I think they like him. And I think that they don't have a lot of other, mouths to feed in that offense. So I think that if he can make a connection with the quarterback, you could be looking at 6 to 8, maybe even 10 targets on a consistent basis. And with when it comes to the tight end position, it's scarce. There's not a lot of guys. Even the named guys who are good are not reliable. So to me, if I'm not gonna get a guy, even if I'm gonna get a named guy like Kittle, Pitts, Goddard, Ingram, if I'm gonna have to waste a high pick on those guys, and they're gonna be kind of, I don't really know what I'm getting for them. They're competing for targets, and it's going to be hit or miss. And you're telling me I can get a guy who I can count on getting a bunch of targets in a bad offense that's going to be down in every game? I'd rather take that.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep an eye on Jeremy Rucker.
Jeremy Rucker. Where's he ranked?
He's a rookie.
Ranked? He is not ranked.
He was a rookie last year.
He's not. He's not ranked in the top. Why is Zach Ertz ranked so low? That he's not gonna be. They're gonna go with Dulcich. Dulcich is gonna be the guy.
No, Trey McBride, the rookie from last year.
Oh yeah. That's right.
No,
McBride
was last year.
Dulcich is.
He was this year.
Dulcich is on the Broncos.
Yeah, he's on the Broncos. But I'm not bugging. He was on the Cardinals last year, right?
Zach Ertz.
Dulcich.
Yeah. No, he's still he was on the Broncos.
So who am I thinking of? That was a whatever. I'm thinking of somebody who was on Arizona. But yeah, I'm surprised to see Zach Ertz ranked so low. Yeah, I'm just surprised to see Zach Ertz ranked so low. I thought he, for a tight end, I thought that when he was healthy last year, he was pretty productive.
It's just that they don't believe in the Cardinals. Yo, I'm having an issue real quick, and I don't want to make more of an ass out of myself, but I don't see Zay Jones in the fucking Ravens, and I see him everywhere in the Jaguars.
So maybe I made a mistake.
I think Zay Flowers. Because
maybe we're gonna.
That's what it was. Yeah.
No, because I think Flex, you agreed too. So I was
but was he on the?
Now, which one of them was a Raider? Was that Flowers or was that Jones?
Flowers is a rookie. He got drafted this year.
Oh yeah.
Zay Jones was a Raider.
Zay Jones was a
Raider. Yeah. Yeah.
But last year he was a Jaguar, right?
Zay Jones was. Yep.
Okay.
And he's still there. I went to one game. and that's why I like Ingram. I was on the sidelines with Dabo smoking cigaros.
On the scene.
So Zay Jones is a very underrated football player from my point of view.
I just don't like his hair.
Okay, so when we do receivers, we'll see where he's ranked. No, that's my bad. No, you're right. That's my bad. I confused him with Zay Flowers. But he was only with the Jags for that last year, right? He was with the Raiders before that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I like that tight end from Tennessee. I don't know how. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name. How is it?
Okonwu.
Okonwu.
I can do the last name just because I've heard it pronounced a bunch of times. The first name, that's where I'm not even.
Oh yeah. Chigoziem.
Oh wow.
Chigoziem. That's my name. Chigoziem.
When I saw him written, it was just Chig, Chig. I knew there was more to it, but I was like, I'm not even gonna try. All right, so there we have it as far as the tight ends go. I mean, nobody else. There's no other. Who's number one tight end in Cincinnati now? Because Hurst is he's with the Panthers now, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I don't know.
Tyler
Didn't they drop?
Oh,
That's-
Irv Smith.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
so he's not. He's not
Irv
in.
Smith is not with Minnesota now. He's with
Ooh,
Cincinnati.
that might be a
now.
nice little sleeper there. Even though he wasn't productive enough in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's interesting though. But him as a number one, that is interesting. I mean, he's a guy I would keep an eye on. I would never draft him, but he's a guy that I mean, the thing is, Burrow loves to throw to his two big receivers. So, you know, even I mean, as good as Hurst was, he wasn't even a necessarily super productive fantasy tight end. And I can't assume that Irv Smith is going to have a bigger role than Hurst had, but he is an interesting little plug and play. If you like the matchup, and you know you got an injury or you got a bye week tight end, Irv Smith is an interesting little play. I will keep an eye on him because that's what Hurst was last year to me. Hurst was a guy that, you know, if you had an injury or if you had a bye week, you plug him in and you hope he catches a Joe Burrow touchdown.
Yeah, he's another tight end that I saw a lot of skill in. That obviously we know why he was underused, but
Yeah,
he definitely showed some hands.
yeah.
Nelson Aguilar is also on the Ravens.
So maybe he's the other free agent
That's
receiver.
that's the guy who I was thinking of. Because Aguilar was on the.
Because I knew that they had
Patriots
totally
last year.
redone the whole receiving core.
Yeah. Nah, that shit was gonna make me boost the Ravens up if they had Zay and fucking Odell.
Well, Zay
Zay and
Flowers
Zay.
is better than Zay Jones,
That's true. He's proven. He's more proven
obviously,
in the NFL.
and the
Well, yeah,
NFL
man.
with the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
How many catches did he have in the preseason game?
I haven't paid attention. I only paid attention to the Giants and the Jets preseason so far. I haven't really looked at the rookies. I was looking for some just rookies performances, but I couldn't find any.
All right, so
Yeah,
to
they
close
don't
it
really do
out,
it no more.
if you have to have a rookie quarterback to have the best fantasy season is who?
Ugh, damn.
I'll
believe-
go Richardson.
Ugh,
That I was trying to argue against Richardson in my head.
me
But
too.
CJ Stroud, he prides himself on not running the ball. So it's like
Yeah.
that's kind of annoying in terms of fantasy. So it's like there's no reason to expect him like to be able to do stuff with his legs.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Fuck, I can't. I don't see Richardson doing that well, man. I see a lot of picks. Can he do like you said, a James Winston and throw, 20
I'm
touchdowns?
thinking more Cam Newton. If he
Yeah.
does a Jameis, listen, say what you want about Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
He's a fantasy god.
yeah. I mean, if you
He's
could do
great
30,
as a fantasy quarterback. The best
Yeah, as long
value
as you're
you
scoring-
could ever want.
As long as you're scoring, it doesn't take away that many for interceptions.
Yeah, as long as you have like a
Yeah.
-2 for or unless you got something crazy like a -5 for picks, you're in
Yeah.
trouble. But Jameis Winston, from a fantasy standpoint, very, very productive and great value because he was never considered a high pick. If he gives you
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, he'll be on
that's
my
what I'm
team.
saying. Can he do that? I'm like, damn, he probably can. So
I don't think he could do 30-30, but I think he could do 20-20. I think he could do a Cam Newton. I think he could do because
Yeah.
Jameis never gave you really rushing. I think he could do a Cam Newton. I think he can give you. I mean, didn't Cam throw for 4,000 yards in his rookie year though? I don't think he's gonna do
yeah,
that.
he went black. He blacked out.
That I don't think he's gonna do, but I think he can give you some rushing, and I think he can. I think with his rushing ability, if utilized properly, I think he can be a high floor guy. So that's why I would go with him as my fantasy rookie quarterback. Did we lose word life? And then as a rookie tight end, if you have to have one rookie tight end for fantasy purposes, who would that be?
Sam Laporta.
That's your guy?
Yeah, man. Sean Paul agrees.
All right.
I gotta go Buffalo Kincaid. I would have to go.
Okay.
Buffalo Kincaid.
Buffalo Kincaid. Yeah, Buffalo Kincaid, he had a good year as well last year.
That sounds like that's an ill rap name.
Buffalo Kincaid sounds to me like a
What is it,
character
Kincaid?
from the Western.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's
You
his
said
how
a
you say
rap
his last
name. A
name?
Western is
Yeah, I know
different.
because that's why. No, I understand, but that's why it sounds
I
like
feel
that type of name. Like
No,
he's gonna
you just
come
said
up.
that, and I'm
his-
just picturing him
No,
rapping.
he's gonna come
in a
up
Western.
like like rolling his guns and his
Yeah.
like doing the twirl.
Those old school mass skinny revolver guns.
The bang, the ones that say bang, those skinny.
The ones that they have the flag that comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so
But
that's
what-
gonna
how
do
you
it.
how you say his? Okay, my
Who?
fault.
What? How do you say?
I was gonna say how you pronounce his name. It's not Kincaid. What is it?
No, it is.
His first name? You call
No,
him
his last
Buffalo
name.
Kincaid.
Yeah. Buffalo Kincaid is hard. Yeah.
No, his first name. What is his first name?
Dalton.
Okay, because I was gonna say his name's not Dalton, is it? Because I was thinking he doesn't have the same name as Dalton. Then I was like, okay, it's not Dalton Knox, it's Dalton Schultz. Dawson Knox.
Dalton and Dawson.
Man, all these
That's
white,
like a crime show.
these
Andy.
big white dudes with these big white dude names.
Yeah, with long
Like
hair.
that is the standard big white dude name, Dalton and Dawson.
And Hudson.
It's like a
Hudson,
For real.
Hayden, Hurst.
Phoenix.
Yo, word.
Yo, Phoenix. What was I watching? The guy's name was Phoenix. Oh yeah, I know.
So that's gonna do it for another episode. Next week we will be flexless,
Oh no.
but we will do we'll find something, and then we'll do a when you're back, we'll do our revisiting of the division winners.
We'll just start from up top, go into the football preview, and just go straight down.
And we will have running backs and receivers. And with that being said,
maybe I could sneak in next week.
that would be dope. Even if it's only for just for a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
And in the words of Billy Joel, sorry, not Billy Joel.
Rule 76.
Oh man,
Word,
no
word. That'll be
excuses.
crazy.
That's your boy. They're on vacation, right? Anyway,
Yeah.